Welcome to the Sultanate of Oman Television's Tonight News Bulletin. But first, the headlines. Signed by His Majesty the Sultan, His Excellency the Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Water Resources heads to Riyadh to participate in the launching ceremony of the Green Middle East Initiative. Minister of Labour announces the availability of 332 job opportunities in various private sector institutions to benefit from the wage support initiative. And the Oman Commercial Arbitration Centre permanent premises inaugurated in the Governorate of Muscat. Thank you for joining us. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. Assigned by His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq, His Excellency Dr. Saud bin Hamoud Al Habsi, Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Water Resources, headed to Riyadh, the capital of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, heading the delegation of the Sultanate of Oman in the launching ceremony of the Green Middle East Initiative tomorrow, Monday, the 25th of October. The Green Middle East Initiative Summit will bring together eminent leaders from the region and the world with the aim of strengthening cooperation and uniting efforts towards implementing common environmental commitments. The Green Middle East Initiative aims to combat climate change in the Middle East and promote investments and knowledge transfer to meet the challenges. The Minister of Labour announced the availability of 332 job opportunities in various private sector institutions, distributed as 243 jobs for university degree holders, 18 jobs for high diploma holders, 37 jobs for post-secondary secondary diploma holders, and 4 jobs for vocational diploma holders, and 30 for the general education diploma holders. It is the second announcement of job opportunities offered by the private sector establishments to benefit from the wage support initiative, which came under the royal directives targeting new entrants to the labour market in the private sector. The initiative is to support the wages of employees for a period of 2 years with an amount of 200 Omani Riyals, provided that the employer bears the agreed wage difference and that the employment is at least for a period equal to the period of government support and therefore is at least 4 years. The Royal Oman Police received a new batch of citizens holding a general education diploma and a post-general education diploma. Recruitment comes as the Royal Oman Police seeks to consolidate the security and safety umbrella by providing an exemplary work environment to provide the best police services. The Commercial Arbitration Centre for the Gulf Cooperation Council countries held the significant roles of Oman Commercial Arbitration Centre in attracting the domestic and international investments as well as enhancing the foreign capitals in the Sultanate of Oman. The centre held an inauguration ceremony for its permanent premises in the Governorate of Muscat under the auspices of His Excellency Dr. Abdullah bin Mohammed Al-Saidi, Minister of Justice and Legal Affairs. During the ceremony, a memorandum of cooperation was signed between the Oman Commercial Arbitration Centre and the Commercial Arbitration Centre for GCC countries. The centre provides a number of services related to arbitration and mediation, as well as solving the commercial and investment disputes in accordance with the international standards and practices in this field. His Excellency Qais bin Mohammed Al Yusuf, Minister of Commerce, Industry and Investments Promotion, issued a decision regarding the commercial companies regulations. It will allow the individuals to practice commercial business by choosing one of the forms commercial companies stipulated in Article number 4 of the Commercial Companies Law based on an application to the Ministry electronic system. It also specified the regulations for registering the branches of foreign companies in the Ministry of Commerce, Industry and investment promotion through the e-system. The ministry stressed that the regulation allows the establishments of commercial representative offices in the Sultanate of Oman, and these offices shall practice their works in accordance with the enforced laws and procedures. It also obliged the commercial companies to open a bank account in one of the licensed banks in the Sultanate of Oman, where it will deposit the share value of the partners that are specified in the establishment documents from the date of its registration at the ministry. The Minister of Commerce, Industry, Investments Promotion also emphasized that the regulation will specify the method of assessment of dividends shares when the company is established or its capital is increased. His Excellency Dr. Saeed bin Mohammed Al-Saqri, Minister of Economy, received in his office today His Excellency Amadou Hott, Minister of Economy, Planning and International Cooperation of Senegal. The two sides discussed prospects for boosting joint economic cooperation and means of promoting bilateral relations to serve the common interests between the two countries. On his turn, the Minister of Economy, Planning and International Cooperation of Senegal affirmed his country's interest in supporting joint cooperation between the two sides, which would contribute to enhancing the economic growth of the two countries, particularly in light of the developments of the global economy. The Public Authority for Economic Zones and Free Zones and Duqm Refinery and Petrochemicals Industries signed a technical cooperation program aimed to enhance cooperation between the authority and the company, in addition to provide institutional framework to exchange experiences and information in the field of environment protection and pollution combating. The cooperation program aimed to provide or to improve local abilities at environmental specializations and open communication on channels for exchanging scientific information between both sides, in addition to prepare annual work to transfer or to translate areas of cooperation into actions to be implemented and followed up throughout the year by the departments concerned with preserving the environment and combating pollution on both sides. Air France launched its first direct flight between French capital Paris and the capital of the Sultanate of Oman, Muscat, with 3 flights per week. More details in the following report.
Within the constant endeavors of Oman airports to enhance and expand the scope of the direct international routes between the Sultanate of Oman airports and world capital cities, Muscat International Airport welcomed today the first flight of Air France, connecting between the French capital Paris and the Omani capital Muscat.
Well, it will really assist in the tourism industry in Oman. I think after the 2 years of the pandemic, after seeing the government have relaxed, the visas policies in Oman, I think the demand for travel to Muscat will increase. And as a witness, today we're seeing Air France as the first carrier from Europe to start operating to Muscat. Hopefully, other carriers will join. And we are actually in direct contact now with other carriers from Europe, from Asia, to start rebuilding the traffic as it used to be before the pandemic in 2019. So this is really an important move by Oman Airports, and we would like to take this opportunity to thank the Civil Aviation, the Ministry of Tourism, and Air France for their support. And I wish Air France all of the best in their first commercial successful journey here in Oman.
Air France will operate Boeing 787 for this route 3 flights weekly, Monday, Wednesday and Friday, linking the two capitals, offering 279 seats with 3 travel classes, business class, premium economy class and economy class.
This is offering a direct flight between Muscat and Paris, connecting France and Oman together. That will make it possible for tourists to go directly from Paris to Muscat. And we know that a lot of French people are traveling to Oman for tourism destination, but also for people from Oman to go to France. Air France is a network carrier, so we don't only fly to Oman, but also if you fly to Paris, from there you can fly to our whole network in Europe and North America. So in fact, it's connecting with one stop Oman to the rest of Europe and North America.
Around 68,000 visitors came from France to Oman in 2019. Passengers traveling on this route will get the chance to discover and enjoy various landmarks and cultures in the Sultanate of Oman and France. The newly launched direct route between Muscat and Paris will unlock a host of potential opportunities between the two friendly countries in areas including tourism, business, and education. From Muscat International Airport, Saleh Bakhalfan al-Rahbi, Muscat.
And still to come in our news bulletin. In Switzerland, a new community association has come to the rescue of the humble apples as many fruits are left unpicked to rot on the tree or the ground where they fall. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. International news. Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi said today that the West was unable to make a decision on the fate of the talks to revive the 2015 nuclear agreement. Raisi claimed Tehran had remained committed to its end of the landmark deal with negotiations were ongoing. Raisi said, standing beside Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei during a religious ceremony, that what has kept America and the Europeans stuck is the failure to make a decision. They don't make a decision. Talks between Iran and European signatories of the 2015 nuclear deal alongside Russia and China have been stalled since June. Raisi administration, which took office in August, has not fixed a date for resuming the dialogue. Now, a group of around 150 cyclists set off on the first leg of planned ride from London to Glasgow today to raise awareness of climate change. The cycling event, Ride the Change, aims to cover 475 miles within 7.5 days to reach Glasgow at the commencement of the United Nations Climate Conference COP26. The head of fundraising for the group, Patrick Ewe, said participants are not aiming for cash donations but to inspire others to take climate actions. It's all about getting the peer-to-peer impact and inspiring other people to increase their climate action. None of the cyclists taking part are professionals. It's an apple harvest season in Switzerland, but many fruits are left unpicked to rot on the tree or the ground where they fall, as some fruit orchards owners don't have time to collect the crop. But now, a new community association has come to the rescue of the humble apple, set up by two brothers, Yevane and Gail Maroon, SOS Fruit Ones, to reduce food waste. The idea came to them after helping one of their neighbors pick his fruit trees 3 years ago. SOS Fruit connects volunteers with fruit tree owners via a website, and the picked produce divided up. The fruit is picked by the volunteers and they take home what they want. The tree owners take their share, either raw or juiced, and the share that the association takes is turned into fruit juice. The apples are taken to a local fruit press to make juice. Approximately 3 tons of apples are brought there by SOS Fruit throughout the season. The juice is pasteurized and bagged into 3 or 5 liter containers ready for sale. A 5-liter juice box costs approximately $11. You're watching the Sultanate of Oman television, and to end this news bulletin, here are the main points once again. Assigned by His Majesty the Sultan, His Excellency the Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Water Resources heads to Riyadh to participate in the launching ceremony of the Green Middle East Initiative. The Minister of Labour announces the availability of 332 job opportunities in various private sector institutions to benefit from the Wage Support Initiative. And the Oman Commercial Arbitration Centre permanent premises inaugurated in the Governorate of Muscat. And with that, we do conclude this news bulletin, brought to you live from this news centre of the Sultanate of Oman television. From me and the entire news team, we thank you for joining us, wish you a pleasant evening, and of course, good night.